Well, the day has finally come. She's being unloaded.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, I love it.
Already opening up the roof.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously fully loaded. She got all the bells and whistles in it.
Right here. Where the arrow is.
Can be a fun little project. I think she loves it. Already fiddling with it.
Gotta put it on sport.
Not in the neighborhood. Can't take her anywhere.
There's no one there. Oops. I did the same thing you did.
You're right, I'm not
I'm gonna
faster
go
than
to
the
the right.
computer. So I don't use the paddle shifters.
Okay.
Not too shabby. You love it?
Yes. Sounds good. All that sound they're pumping in through the speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this thing. Oh wow,
Yeah.
you're not kidding.
They've been cruising along.
I love the torque.
She's gonna have a speeding ticket before the end of the year.
Shh. No, I won't. I get out of speeding tickets. You don't.
It's also true.
Oh, I love it.
She's driving it to work today, so I don't get to tear into it the first day, guys. What is going on, YouTube? MrsBoom here with a little different video. We are not messing with any F-150s today. We are not messing with any Mavericks today. Beef is not messing with anything today. He said, "Dad, it's Saturday, it's cold, I want to sleep." He's cuddled up in the bed. But we are going to be messing with the new toy. The project that we picked up yesterday. Well, we didn't pick it up, we had it delivered. MrsBoom Kristen found it online. Wanted it. We got it. So today we are going to start the process on disassembling the Explorer. Need to clean the garage up. Whoops. Need to clean the garage up, get these wheels and tires out of here, get this Christmas crap gone, and free up some space. But if you know me, which if you're a subscriber to the channel, you should, you know that we don't like black plastic. We don't like stuff that isn't paint matched. Obviously, this truck doesn't count right now because it is wrapped, but we've got the 4 doors from more Kyle Rittenhouse, if you know what I mean. Everything gets paint matched. So that is what we are going to be doing to this beautiful piece of equipment. Everything that is black, plastic, dull, textured, gross, will be no longer. I've done a little bit of YouTube searching. Haven't really seen any information out there as far as how-to videos to take these parts off, per se. So figure, why not do that for you guys as well? So we're going to start with getting the roof rails off, just because that's going to make the biggest difference. And then from there, we'll start with the lights, because obviously we're going to be doing the lights, tail lights, headlights, fog lights. All of those are going to get done. And then from there, we'll get to all of the plastic trim pieces. So going to clean up the garage a little bit, get these wheels and tires out of the way, get the Christmas crap out of the way, and set the camera up and get started. So stay tuned. Alrighty, I have cleaned up the garage a little bit, got everything organized a little bit more. As you can see, plenty of space now. Move some stuff back there. Gonna take all that to the storage unit. You don't care about that. But plenty of space up front. And half a car, 3/4 of a car worth of space here. While I was doing that, took a couple breaks, ate, did some research on the roof rails. Gonna have to pull the headliner on the edges here to access. There's some bolts along the top. But to do this properly, there's a couple ways that it can be done, but I want to do it the right way. I'm going to get the proper covers for these. I'm going to get the ones that are for the newer Explorers that don't come with them. You can order the 2022s with or without the roof rails. So I'm going to get the necessary covers for this. I shot my parts guy text message, got those ordered. They'll be here at some point, but for the time being, going to leave these on until they get here. The first thing I'm going to do today is start pulling the front end off so I can get the headlights off, get the front bumper off so I can get all of these pieces off. And then with that, obviously the fender flares are going to come off as well. So going to go ahead, get the tripod, set the camera up, and start the disassembly. Along the way, I will show you, where the bolts are, where the clips are, etc., etc. So here we go. Alrighty, so I have the necessary tools to remove everything. I went over, did a quick overview of all the parts. Little long flat-headed screwdriver, panel clip remover tool, got an 8mm, 7mm, 10mm, have my electric ratchet, some extensions, wrench, all that. Going to go ahead and start the disassembly. So here we go. And just to give you guys an idea, and extensions right here. So the grill's gonna have to come off. These are 10mm, the 10mm for the headlight. And then you're gonna have your 7mm right here and here and here and here, and then along the top through here you're good until you get to down here, and then there's a couple clips on the bottom side, and then that'll pull that off. And then I would assume that once I pull that off, I'm going to, based off of, let me get you some light, based off of how every other Ford is, there's gonna be some bolts in here. Obviously you can't access them through here because of the supports and all of that. So we're going to get this off to get access to those. And then from there, I would assume there will be some bolts and whatnot underneath that are gonna have to come undone. But the bumper should be pretty straightforward like every other Ford bumper. So here we go with that. Alrighty, so as you can see, I have the fender flare off, and let's see. Battery's too low to use flash, but as I suspected, there is a bolt right here, and then there's one right here. And in typical Ford fashion, I'm sure they're 10 millimeters. And then what I did with the flares, excuse me, is did my 7 millimeter bolts right there, disconnected the sensor from there, didn't disconnect it but popped it, didn't disconnect it but popped it out. And then what I did was I took along the top with, get that out of there, oops, with the flathead screwdriver, was I just pushed down on, actually what I'll do, on the tabs like this, and what I'll do is I'll put one back in there. So it's kind of hard to do, but with a little bit of pressure, you can see and it's hard to do, but as I pull out, I was just able to push down on that, and obviously they twist in and out to get them out like that, and was able to get all of those out. And then if you look, you can see no scratches or anything. You just be careful moving that little one right there. Nothing crazy though. It's aluminum, it's not gonna rust. But was able to get all of those off, and then we'll just slide this one, oops, back on, and we're good to go. So the fender flare is off. Now we're going to unbolt the two 10 millimeter bolts here. This is a 7 millimeter here, and then that should free up the bumper to pull it forward. And then from there, I'm gonna come up top to the grill shell, unbolt these 4 10 millimeters here, and that should free it up, and then repeat the same thing on the passenger side. So going to get these unbolted, and I am going to use the clip remover tool to, there's a clip there, and probably be good. That'll allow me to fold that out of the way to access those. So gonna get that knocked out real quick and see if I can't get the front bumper off. Alrighty, so as you just saw in the little time lapse, took 7 millimeter, though this one right here is for the plastic that attaches to the bumper. This one right here is for the bracket right here, so that will have to be undone. And then as I mentioned, there were 2 bolts right here, and Ford was a little shysty with those. They put Loctite on them. So as you saw, I used my hand ratchet, not the electric one, to get them out most of the way. And then once I got those unbolted, what I had to do was this little piece right here. You can see it's got 2 little clips. I'll zoom in a little bit. 2 little clips, so I pushed those in to pop those out. Went ahead and undid the 10 millimeter bolts up top. Now what I'm gonna do is go knock out the other side, put my phone back on the charger while I'm doing that, and then I should be ready to pull the bumper the rest of the way forward. If I see anything before I start pulling it, I will include that in the video. Alrighty, so have the other side unbolted. And as I mentioned, have those off. Have all of that off, so we're free here. And we're free here. So now what I'm going to do in real time, not time-lapsed, set the camera up. And yes, there's some 1320 video playing in the background. So, pull this out, and it looks like it's catching, there's a tab right here. That one's not a tab, there's a tab right here. It's free here, so I'm just going to pick up. You heard that little click. Pick up. Heard that little click. Pull forward. As you can see, she's hanging freely. Now, if all you were doing was removing the headlights for reference, what I'm going to be doing, as well too, MrsBoom's Explorer is doing some paint matching on the headlights as well. Swap out the reflector, I'm doing all of that. You now have access to the bolts on the bottom. So there's a bolt here, a bolt here, and a bolt here. Those are 10mm as well. And then I'm also going to be painting the fog lights. You've got access to those. Those are 7mm bolts, and then you've just got the one clip here. So what I'm gonna do is, so this isn't hanging like crazy, we're just gonna pick that back up and rest it onto the top of the Explorer. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the rest of the bolts on the bottom. I'm still holding it, so it's not just pulling it the thing, but I'm gonna go ahead and undo the rest of the bolts on the bottom, holding the bumper on, and I will show you the sizes in those locations as well. Alrighty, as you can see, the front bumper is off. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 7mm bolts along the bottom. I disconnected, excuse me, the driver's side harness from, where we at? This connection right here. And then come over to the passenger side. Disconnected from the passenger side as well. And then there was this plug right here. If memory serves me correctly, I know on the F-150s this usually goes to the camera. And then you can see I've got this little line tucked up out of the way. Dripped a little bit. That is for washer fluid for the grill emblem. You can see I've got a blanket down to keep from scratching up the beautiful Atlas blue paint. I had to cut this zip tie because it had everything nice and secured right here. So now we have the front end off, which for anyone looking to remove the headlights and or the fog lights, that is how you would do it. So hopefully this was helpful for anybody looking to do that. I will show you guys the headlights and fog lights once they're completed. And then obviously along with this process, I'm also going to be doing all of the plastics as I mentioned earlier in the video. So I'm going to make another video showing you guys how to remove all of those. I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that it's the exact same as how it is on the fender flares. So you're gonna have this piece here, this piece here, this piece here, this piece here, and then I'm gonna take another wild guess and say that the rear bumper is going to have to come off to remove the plastic cleanly. And then we're also going to be doing the tail lights on here. See if I have not enough battery to turn that back on, but I'm gonna pop this piece off, the black piece here, as well as the Ford emblem, and I will show you guys how to do that as well. And yeah, so if you thought this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or advice for other people maybe looking to do so, put it in the comment section below. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, please do that. I will be uploading a lot of content along the way with not only my Maverick and my F-150s, but the wife's Explorer. And we will see what we can do as far as aesthetics. And our goal is to get into the 11.5 range with a tune and minimal bolt-ons. and then from there see if we can't get it into the 10s before we get rid of it, which will be next summer more than likely. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, thumbs up anyway, helps with the algorithm. I want to build this channel to be something kind of cool. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and boom.